Hi everyone, Mrs. Thompson here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw this mushroom bio landscape. What you'll need to get started is a piece of paper turned to portrait and either a pencil or a Sharpie to get started. So I'm going to start by turning my paper to portrait and making sure I have something to draw with. After that, I'm going to make sure I put my name on my paper. I would definitely want to put it on the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and begin my drawing. Now at first it's just going to look like I have a lot of mushrooms floating on my paper, and then I'm slowly going to be adding in more and more details to make it look like an actual landscape. But at first, like I said, I'm just going to be adding some mushrooms. Alright, let's get started. Now, the first thing I draw is going to be one of these little red capped mushrooms, and that's actually going to be right over here. And make sure you're drawing big enough. If you're using pencil, that is an issue I see quite often. I'm going to make a semicircle, and then I'm going to bring that line up and curve back down. So this is the top or the cap of the mushroom. Then I'm going to add the stalk. Now, the stalk of the mushroom is going to be a little bit smaller at the top, and it's going to get wider towards the base. This is called a tapered. And that just makes things look a little bit more realistic. If you want to do it differently, you're welcome to. And because this mushroom is so big, and it's a little bit taller than us, we can actually see under it. So I'm just going to add a line right underneath. And you could add some little lines in this area because this is like looking inside the mushroom. You can add some texture to the stalk and also some polka dots on the mushroom cap itself. Now I think when people think mushroom, this is typically the mushroom they think of. I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 more of these little red capped mushrooms. So there is another one over here. And I'm just following the same steps from the first one. Could be shaped a tiny bit differently. They're not always going to be exactly the same every time you draw something. And I definitely put the little polka dots in different places each time. Maybe there's another one up here. This one's probably going to be a little smaller because it's like further up the hill. It's further away from us. And maybe I even have a tiny one in here too. Ooh, this time I started with the stalk, so it's making it a little bit harder for me. But it'll all work out. Alright, a few other things we might want to add. Maybe there is a tree stump down here near the bottom. So to start my tree stump, maybe I make a little spiral. So that could be the when you look at the inside of the tree, you see the rings, and then I'm going to put an oval, and then some lines to make it look like a tree stump, and the roots that go underground. And I'm going to add a few different types of mushrooms. Over here, I'm going to make some additional mushrooms. Let's see if I can find out what the name of those mushrooms are. Alright, so these little brown mushrooms look like the same as the red one, so it's a little curved upside down U. But this one I'm going to put an oval on the bottom, and I'm going to do a few of those. So an upside down U with an oval on the bottom. And then I'm going to choose a center point, I think I like right there. And I'm going to draw a line from the bottom center of each mushroom to that spot. Maybe there's another set of them over here. There could be some different mushrooms. Let's see, how did I make these? It looks like an oval. I think these are called toadstool mushrooms. These are a bit weird. You could leave these out if you want to. And again, it just looks like a lot of random mushrooms on the paper, but that's because we haven't added all the ground in yet. And I think I'm actually going to stop there for the mushrooms. The next thing I want to add is my horizon line that separates the sky from the ground. And in this case, I made my horizon line a little bit bumpy. You could make yours straight if you would like to. And mine hit this mushroom, so I had to jump and bump over it. Now, in my mushroom biome landscape, I added birch trees. Birch trees are white with black lines or black details. And to start my tree, just like the stalk of my mushroom, it's tapered, meaning the top of the tree is closer together than the bottom. So I'm going to make 3 or 4 trees. You could do a different type of tree if you want to. So there are my trees. I'm going to add a couple branches. You could do different branches than me. Alright, I'm pretty happy with those branches. Other things you want to add to your birch trees are just some lines to make them look like they're actually birch trees. So I'm going to do one, and then we're going to keep and go back to our artwork on the bottom. So these are just random little lines. Make sure you do them on both sides. And maybe they're shorter and they gradually get longer. And then you repeat the process all over again. Some other things I might want to add to my landscape. Let's see. I think the first thing I'm going to want to do is start adding the ground that the mushroom is sitting on. Now it's on like a hill, but we're going to see different layers of the hill. So this is the highest point. This might be the next highest point. Maybe there's one over here. So that's where the mushrooms are sitting. Maybe there's another little spot here. And I could even draw an additional mushroom or something else on this place. So you want to make it so the mushrooms are no longer just floating in the air. Add the ground beneath the mushrooms. Oh, I forgot to put some texture on my tree. Maybe I want to add some other little leaved plants. Maybe you want to add some flowers or any other details you can think of to make this your own. You do not have to copy me. You could also think, is there any animals you want to add to your mushroom biome? In this one, I put a ladybug, or you could put no animals there. That's up to you. So these plants are called ferns that I'm drawing. You could do a different type of plant. The type of fern is this one, the little curly one, is a fiddlehead fern. Maybe I'll put a little daisy or a different type of flower here. And there you have your mushroom bio landscape. Make sure you finish adding in all the details. You want to add all the details to your birch trees, and then you're going to trace it with Sharpie and color.